Hi everyone, I'm Kieran from 81 Vintage and welcome back to my channel. In today's episode, it's that annual time of the year again where I create a vintage inspired pumpkin. And this year we're going for a very traditional orange style paper mache pumpkin. For our base on this candy holder, I'm actually going to be using one of these. It's a plastic bowl that's usually available in the party aisle and is used for cocktails. To begin with, I gave the whole bowl a coat of plaster bandage, just one simple layer to really set us off, and then I let it dry. It's a really good project if you're a beginner and you're just looking to experiment with creating one of these buckets. It's not too involved. There is a little bit of a stage later on, but you could get around this by just using paint. It took me a moment or two to figure out the right combination for the face, but once I had it, I drew it on and I kept playing with it with some permanent marker. I then used little snakes of plaster bandage to add on some pointy eyebrows. In my inspiration pictures, I kept finding these pumpkins that had a sculpted body and then their eyes, nose and mouth were all made out of cardboard. So I wanted to follow suit with this. If you didn't want to do this and find it a little bit too difficult, you could always just paint them on and that would work just as well. Areas I used a Dremel tool, but you could use anything like a sharp X-Acto knife or something like that. Just make sure you're being careful and sensible. You could also learn from my mistake and do this at the start of the project. To cover over the rough edges of the plastic that I'd cut out, I used little slithers of plaster bandage and just went over them to make them a little bit smooth and finished. For the mouth, I went with a very straightforward smile and then changed my mind later on and decided to add in teeth. To make the teeth, I used little pieces of the plastic leftovers that we'd taken out earlier and cut out little teeth shape and superglued them onto the bandage. I then wrapped those in little slithers of plaster bandage, and that made them much more uniform and finished them off. And that's it for sculpting, so it's a really great beginner project if you're looking to do something like this. It doesn't require too much creativity and it's very straightforward. And now it's on to the painting. So for this stage I took it outside and sprayed it with matte black spray paint on the inside. Once that was dry, I brought it inside and gave it a coat of bright orange acrylic paint. You can use any paints, but I find acrylic paints are best. Just make sure to use a good quality one so that you get those nice vibrant colours and you only have to do 1 or 2 coats. To add a little bit more detail on the paint job, I added a bright yellow rim around the top and then added an outline with black paint. Also did a similar border around his eyes, his nose and his mouth. Don't worry about your paint job being too perfect or your details being too perfect, because a little bit distressing later will make any imperfections disappear. I then wanted to make the cardboard inserts for his nose, his mouth and his eyes. I popped the cardboard in place and then I drew around with a pencil so that I could get an outline. I then painted the details with a white paint and created some pupils just by creating a domed shape with some black acrylic paint. I created 2 of these and made sure they roughly matched. And then for the mouth, I painted a piece of cardboard white, but later on changed it to red. Before I popped the pieces in, I gave them a distressing with some sandpaper so that they would look equally distressed with the piece. And then I moved on to distressing the pumpkin itself. I like to use a mix of different sandpapers ranging from 120 to 220 grits, and you can always paint in any details that get a little bit taken away too much later on. For my pumpkin, he lost quite a lot on his cheeks, so I touched that up. I then drilled 2 holes behind his ears, and then I added some thick garden wire, twisted a knot in each end and added on some beads. And this is the final result. I hope you like how this pumpkin came out. Please let me know in the comments what you think of his final look. And don't forget to let me know whether you'll be tempted to give this project a try. It's probably the easiest out of all of the pumpkins that I've done. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and make sure that you hit that subscribe button so you can find all of my future episodes, as I post 5 videos a week going full time in my creative business. As always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one, and I'll probably see you next year for another annual pumpkin creation.